into the water, revealing she's an elf. He's stunned, wondering if the Goblin Slayer is actually a woman. She doesn't look completely human, and her skills are exceptional. Who has the leisure to take a bath in a situation like this? That isn't normal. For the first time, he feels something unnatural. Did she notice him? Is she trying to lure him out? He jumps onto the dragon and takes off, flying on its back. This woman's crafty. He'll deal with the other two first. The Goblin Huntress looks up, wondering what kind of intelligent species that is. She seems excited, thinking she'd love to savor this experience. Sometime later, the weak goblin lies defeated on the ground. The young guy says it's stopped, and tells everyone to stay alert. The tribe is close. Suddenly flaming arrows rain toward the group. The old mage orders everyone to fall back as he casts. He hurls fire into the incoming volley. It's a trap. The young guy says they almost got caught. The old man still has his skills, but it's not over yet. Stop talking. The mage shouts. They're there. A huge mutant goblin comes charging in. Gru yells that it's a hero-class goblin, and tells everyone to focus their attacks on it. The mage fires a fireball. The goblin doesn't expect it. It looks like a direct hit, but aside from its clothes, it's fine. The old mage can't believe it. As the monster keeps closing in, he wonders how it's still alive after that. Then the leader tells them to look around. The goblins are closing in, and they're all elite. Why do they have iron armor and weapons? He can't let it get close. Leave that to Cecil. He casts Fountain of Life, restoring everyone's power. Another adventurer uses a mid-tier spell, Ice Spike. Another casts Quicksand Field. A third unleashes Rain of Judgment, striking the goblins as they try to defend themselves. And it looks like someone up above is watching. The leader tells that creature to make an opening so Gobakong can get close. Then the goblin launches himself from above, slamming into the ground. With determination, he charges the adventurers. The old mage is stunned by the monster's speed and curses those damn goblins. On the other side, the huge mutant goblin advances with a few more. The leader yells for them not to be afraid and orders the squires to hold the line. But the goblins overpower the knights with ease, so he calls on the Holy Lord, asking his power to punish those vile creatures. He uses an advanced magic power, Holy Light Enhancement. He tells everyone to gather around him in formation, to surround the wounded and heal them quickly. Furious, he says they're going to kill them all. Our hero admits the skills of that diamond-level adventurer group are beyond what he expected. Another goblin tribe wouldn't stand a chance, but unfortunately for them, they went to the wrong place. More creatures appear, and that mutant goblin shows up too. The old mage panics, cursing the situation. It's a mutant goblin. Nearby, the Goblin Slayer woman says the creatures are fascinating and powerful. Then a scream cuts through the battle. Groob is badly hurt. The mutant lifts him off the ground like it's nothing. The goblins move like they're in some kind of combat trance. The young leader is down too, defeated. He can't believe what he's seeing. The old man begs him to help, to save him. But the young leader doesn't look like he can fight. He's genuinely terrified. He scrambles up and tries to run, screaming that these goblins are demons. The mutant moves toward the fallen old mage. The young leader runs in desperation, dodging arrows and cursing everything. He thinks he should have known there would be hidden elf archers too, then asks who saved him. He looks up at that person, terrified. He sees the Goblin Slayer in front of him and begs to be saved, just as several goblins leap onto him. A new fight breaks out, and Earl watches, tense and shaking. All around him, the goblins are already defeated. Overjoyed, he thanks the Goblin Slayer again and promises he'll reward him. But the huntress questions the idea of rewarding her, and tells him to stay away from her, the farther the better, and calls him a ridiculous kid. Earl tries to warn them this isn't a normal goblin tribe, that there's definitely a goblin overlord here, but the Slayer says he'll feel more satisfied this way. Sometime later, on that battlefield, the mutant goblin holds the old mage's head. Then a weapon slams into it dead on. The goblin actually feels the hit and drops, unconscious. Our hero watches from above and mutters, "Goblin frenzy. What's going on?" A crowd of goblins turns as someone approaches. The Goblin Slayer walks up and asks if that thing is the goblin leader, because with that stupid face it doesn't look like it. The mutant creature shrieks that it's going to kill him, then lunges in, ready to fight. The Goblin Slayer readies himself too. In the next moment, goblins start flying in every direction. Our hero stares, confused, asking what's up with the system. He was told there would only be normal strikes, but this looks like magic. The mutant goblin steps in and activates a skill called Mad War Transformation. In a frenzy, it charges the goblin hunter. The adventurer jokes, asking if it's an enraged bull, then laughs as he swings and chops the creature into several pieces. He grips his huge weapon with both hands and rushes nimbly at the mutant goblin, saying as he attacks that it's already dead, but something hits him out of nowhere. The hunter curses as his body locks up. He wonders if they should fall back while they can, but thinks that person is full of mysteries and could be a great tool, though a direct fight wouldn't be smart. He orders everyone to retreat and form a circle, tells them to keep their distance and attack from far away with whatever they've got. The goblin huntress is stunned that a goblin can tame a dragon, and says she knew this place wouldn't let her down. Several rocks come rolling toward that adventurer, bouncing down the slope toward her. Without hesitation, she swings her weapon, slicing the huge rocks apart. Then she drives her sword into the ground and leans on it, catching her breath. Our hero thinks they've been fighting for an hour, and she looks like she's about to collapse. Then the huntress grabs her helmet, and throws the heavy thing to the ground, revealing a beautiful woman. The goblins start acting like idiots, completely enchanted. Our hero just stares, not quite believing it. Suddenly she smashes what's left of that old mage, and says the heart is the best kind of nourishment. Our hero is horrified, realizing he underestimated her. The goblin huntress keeps striking them down one after another, and then her attention snaps to something specific. The mutant creature calls her a filthy woman, and tells her to die. The next moment, it gets hit by a sword crackling with energy. The goblin huntress uses her ability on the monster, and in the next instant it explodes. Our hero tenses. Who is she? If she even has a goblin devouring ability, the best option is to retreat. He yells for the elf to come with him and orders everyone to fall back immediately. The goblin huntress tells him to wait. She says she hasn't seen a goblin this smart and powerful in ages. If he lets her take a closer look, she won't just spare their lives, she'll also heal the one who got hit by the dagger. Our hero asks if she really thinks he'd believe that nonsense. The girl looks surprised and asks if he doesn't believe her. Then she starts undoing the straps on her armor. In the next moment, the pieces drop to the ground. With her armor off, she asks if he believes her now. He's shocked she dropped her weapon and stripped off her armor, and he wonders what she's planning. He starts heading down, thinking, so in that case, he tells her they should have a proper talk. She says that even though he's just a low-tier goblin, he's far beyond her expectations. Then he says he showed himself like she asked, and asks if she isn't going to heal him. Taking some kind of needle tells him not to worry, she'll keep her promise. But first he has to satisfy her. She says he looks like a low-tier goblin, but he's got the brains of a goblin king. Totally her type. She gets a little too excited, and our hero asks if she's kidding. He thinks he dropped his guard and walked right into the trap of a crazy woman. Then suddenly everyone around them turns their backs. Our hero doesn't get it and asks what's going on. The woman strolls up with a smile and says they're all under her control. They won't be able to see anything they do. Then she laughs. She jumps on him and hugs him, telling him to relax, that she won't kill him. She even says she'll stay with him, like she's already deciding what to do next. The next moment she throws the goblin to the ground. She wonders what kind of creature he's going to become. Before he can even react, she attacks, and he's still stuck wondering if this is even real. Nearby, by a bush, Earl watches. He can't believe what he's seeing. Then it hits him, and he's horrified. The goblin slayer is a woman, and she's with the goblin. Out of nowhere, something starts creeping toward him. Earl freezes, terrified. Our hero warns her that this is a goblin den, and if she keeps going, she'll face the consequences. The woman just says she wants to see how strong he is. He asks who she is, and what this weird power is. How can she control her subordinates, and even him? The goblin huntress asks if she tells him everything, he'll let her follow him. He says it depends on what she says. She tells him she's descended from a goblin king. Our hero is stunned. He asks how she can be descended from a goblin king, and why she looks human. She says maybe it's because her mother is human, and it's not like there was only one goblin king. She explains that the higher a goblin's rank, the harder it is for him to have offspring. But she survived, stayed healthy. Then after a decade, she personally killed the goblin king, who tried to force himself on her. After she devoured him completely, she gained the king's power to control goblins. And with that power, she wiped out everyone in that dungeon. Our hero asks if she can control them because of a king's life energy. She says she put part of it into the weapon she forged. So when he gets hit, it's like a suicide gene gets implanted. He can't disobey her. She says she became a goblin slayer because she hates them. And what she did to him before killing him was personal. Our hero thinks it's no surprise her personality got twisted like that. He can almost feel her pain, and it's a natural weapon against goblins. He says it looks like they have something in common, and asks her to join him. The woman says she thought he'd be scared, and that there was no need for tricks. Our hero's a little surprised. She says the situation in the city is complicated. She can go back and be his spy, which is better than staying there. Our hero asks if she's really that kind of person. She says that since he's hers now, she has to protect him first. Our hero tenses at that. Sometime later, inside the cave, he checks the info on the terminal. Looking at his points, he realizes he expected a woman with a king's life energy to be worth more. Then someone asks if it's his cousin, and says he's still alive, catching our hero off guard. Nearby, people mutter that his cousin is the family disgrace. No wonder the holy sword didn't come save him. But the man snaps back that he's a useless idiot. The guy tells him to look at that thing over there and says he'll die before he does. Then one of the goblins grabs the young man. Terrified, he asks what it's doing. It hauls him toward the cauldron while he begs not to be killed, saying he's a noble and can give them lots of women. His cousin tells it to stop. He says he wants to see their leader. Our hero steps in and calls him a mutt, saying he stayed quiet all this time. So why open his mouth now? The man says that if he frees his cousin, he'll accept any request. Earl tells his cousin he was wrong before and that he shouldn't have talked to him like that, calling him a mutt. Lin questions how he can be a prisoner and still try to bargain. The man suggests hurting his cousin and letting him go. Then they'll send more people to rescue him and they can devour them all. Earl is horrified by what he's hearing. In a trance, the guy says everyone deserves to die, says he's going to kill everyone. Our hero's surprised because he looks serious, and he accepts the proposal. The man seems out of it. The elf warns that if they let him go, their position will be exposed. But our hero says it's fine and asks if she doesn't trust him. A good while passes. Back in the city, someone yells that it's already over, that they're finished. The innkeeper asks what happened, and the man tells him not to worry so much. He says he saw Zizur missing a leg riding a carnivorous horse toward the royal city. People get worked up asking how that's possible, saying he and the group failed. Then the man asks if the Grey Hats and the Blizzard Braves were all defeated, if Zizur was the only one left. At that moment, the goblin hunter walks in and confirms it. She says everyone was killed and only Zizur stayed alive. She drops into a nearby chair. An adventurer asks the goblin slayer if she took part in the battle, and she says she did. The hooded man asks about the goblins. She says there were hundreds of huge goblins, and mutants too, but she took care of all of them. The tavern goes quiet. Then someone mutters that it's what you'd expect from the goblin slayer. The innkeeper says she can drink on the house while everyone stares, still processing what they just heard. Suddenly something flies into the room. Through the door, several bats swoop in. They hang from the ceiling as the crowd watches. The goblin hunter asks if they're the cold mercenaries, and says that was a great entrance. Someone calls for the goblin slayer and asks if she found their nest, since she said there were hundreds of goblins, and adds that those bastards hide underground, so how could she know? The hunter says she didn't find the lair. She came back after killing them, then asks if he can handle those goblins. One bat asks if that's it, then says not to worry, finding the lair will be their job. He asks if she'll join forces with them. The goblin hunter stands. She says she doesn't like working at night and she's not very useful compared to the others. The bat calls it a disgrace and says it looks like that hunt will be theirs. During the night, those creatures fly through the forest, searching for the goblin's den. One asks what the captain is thinking because it doesn't look like there's any powerful force around. The captain says the trail ends there, and they have to go in. They agree and fly inside. The goblins on guard say it's nothing serious, but they should stay alert. The bats move forward through the cave. One asks if that was really it, just a handful of goblins and a mutant, then wonders if they went to the wrong place and found some average tribe, but the captain says there's no mistake. It's just like the hunter said, big goblins, perfect to drain them before they wake up. He gives the order to charge and drain them all. He moves in, fangs bared. The next moment, a blast of energy slams into him. He hits the ground, defeated. A woman steps into view. The bat asks how this can be. It's a goblin den. He can't believe what he's seeing. Torches flare to life around the cavern. Goblins start pouring in, surrounding them. He curses under his breath and realizes they can't leave because everything's on fire. One of the bats asks the captain what they should do now. Our hero appears and asks if they really dared come there to drain them. Now he wants to see what they're capable of. The bat's captain looks at the goblin's leader, then he makes a motion, and something happens. They start spinning like a tornado. In the next moment, a woman's feet touch down. She says that since they've been exposed, they need to kill everyone, since they're just a bunch of goblins. On the terminal, it shows she's Lilith, a level 61 vampire with 2800 power. Our hero gets excited. Her stats are insanely high. He's satisfied he got their attack info ahead of time and prepared. The vampire takes flight and starts attacking the goblins, asking whether the flames will reach them first or if they'll die before that. Lynn lights up. Like this, golden energy coils around all of them. The vampires flinch and shield their eyes from the light, annoyed. How can a humble goblin use holy magic? The holy energy surges. In the next moment, a vampire hits the ground. He steps forward. None of us gained anything from this fight, so why don't we talk? The vampire doesn't look happy. She assumes he's here for the reward. He tilts his head, curious, and asks why vampires would need money. She looks embarrassed, then snaps back. Does he think it's easy dealing with the church? If it weren't for the agreement not to drain humans, they wouldn't need money to buy food. Lynn starts thinking. If he could get them on his side, he could improve his clan's bloodline. Our hero says he gets it, and asks what she thinks about cooperating. He says he can provide them with food. Something stirs among the goblins, but she cuts in. What they have isn't even close to enough for long-term supplies. Then she says she has documents about something, an essential source of life, that can replace the way some thirsty monsters feed. The vampires exchange surprised looks and start whispering. Our hero waits, clears his throat and tells them the legend. Long ago, a monster called a succubus discovered that taking this vital liquid from men has a special effect. That's what they live for. You don't need to kill for it, just extract it anywhere, and you can get nourishment and stock up. He adds that the goblins are short on everything except that. If they make a deal, he'll make sure the vampires never run out of anything they need. One vampire says she's heard of those creatures. Another asks if they're being tricked. Their leader says they'll only know if it's true if they try. Suddenly one of them grabs her captain. She protests. They're countesses, and the count is currently sealed. Aren't they going too far? Shouldn't they wait for him? The woman fires back. For hundreds of years, how many more sisters have to die because of that? If his method is real, they can get it with no more risks. Then the girl starts working on it. The others shift, awkward, and then something happens. She freezes, then says it really can replace what they're used to eating. Excitement ripples through them. They all want to try. A shoving match breaks out, so our hero asks Leah to help. The elf tells her boss he really worked hard. He says the vampires were seriously hungry. Then the captain calls for the goblin. She says she agrees to cooperate and asks what he wants from them. Lynn explains it's always dark there, perfect for them to live, and they need to protect the caves from intruders. The woman nods like she understands. Fine, she accepts. Our hero looks satisfied with the result. Sometime later, at night in the city, since that group of cold mercenaries still hasn't made contact, they assume they were wiped out. Someone yells he's sick of that useless trash. A man shoots back that he's the trash scared to fight goblins, so how can he call himself a diamond rank adventurer? The other man snarls that he doesn't want a lecture from him. The standoff drags on in the tavern. Then the Holy Sword walks in. One man goes pale at the sight of her. The other grins, happy she's back. They lay out the plan. She'll go alone to the land of dragons, while they gather to defeat the goblins, so both can be taken down. A guy asks if they can really do that now that only regular people like them are left. Someone else says it's just a bit of effort, and tells them to count on him. That guy says he'll help the Holy Sword keep the path of protection, and he'll organize everyone to go into the forest and kill the goblins. She nods and says she'll leave the mission to him. His name is Ellison, a diamond rank marksman. To reach the land of dragons they have to go by boat. She asks him, since she heard he has object manipulation magic, if he can escort her. He bows. Fighting alongside the Holy Sword is the greatest honor of his life. But what he really wants is that by the end of this mission, he can get promoted to an epic rank adventurer, somewhere else, where dragons fill the sky. The mother of dragons cradles one of the eggs when something catches her attention. She shouts, asking what's going on. A dragon bursts through the opening, making a racket. She finally says she gets it now. She didn't expect that woman to recover so fast. She carefully sets the egg on the ground, wondering why this is happening now. Then she hugs it and kisses it, leaving it gently as she tells her child to remember. Its father is a very special goblin. She starts drawing on her power, transforming, cursing the Holy Sword. She takes her dragon form. As she launches into the air, she says she'll settle this once and for all. Nearby, the Holy Sword presses forward, cutting down dragons one after another. Battle scars mark her legs. Then the Mother of Dragons drops in front of her. The Holy Woman says the dragoness finally showed herself, calling her Amethyst, Mother of Dragons. Amethyst says she can't believe the woman who got beaten by goblins got back up, and asks how she dares keep acting like a coward. The Holy Sword says she doesn't need her telling her how to act, but since she's threatening her people, she'll take her life. She charges in with a powerful attack and tells Amethyst to prove it. Furious, the dragoness unleashes her breath. The two attacks collide, and energy blasts across the battlefield. The man mutters that dragon is way too big. Then someone grabs him by the cape, yanking him back just seconds before the area shatters. The Mother of Dragons watches the move. The Holy Sword yells at him to get out of the way and stop being a burden. Amethyst roars and starts casting more spells. A massive pile of amethyst surges toward the Holy Sword, who blocks as best she can. One nearly nails the man dead on. He panics and curses. The woman uses the opening, leaping across the amethysts. When she reaches the Mother of Dragons' head, she unleashes a transcendent sword skill. She drops in, striking the dragoness again and again with Steel Storm. Nearby, a creature screams. An egg has just hatched. A tiny green dragon stares out over the landscape and roars for the first time. On the battlefield, someone is badly hurt. From atop a rock, the Holy Sword watches the Mother of Dragons, apparently defeated. She says she almost had it, that she aimed for the head but barely missed and took the eye instead. The Mother of Dragons, furious, curses her out and says she'll fight that crazy bitch to the death today. Then a voice yells, telling her not to dare hurt his mother. The little dragon swoops in, drawing both fighters' attention. The woman screams for her son to run, telling him to go to the place in his memory, because it's the only safe place. He watches the Holy Sword defeat his mother. Crying as he growls, he takes off. He tells his swordmaster to leave that little one with him and watch. Then he hurls several energy orbs at the dragon. The creature fires back, spitting at him. It hits him right in the face. He drops screaming and rolling. He grabs a potion and splashes it on his face. With his face all messed up, he curses and asks where that lizard is, because he's going to cook him. The Holy Sword says if he doesn't cause trouble, he'll be spared. It's time to go, because they might still make it in time to help with the goblins. The man tells her he can't move the boat with his magic, and says that dragon's fire should be able to eat away at the magic. Some time later, the little dragon cries beside his mother. He says he'll take her back to the dragon's den, that they'll find a way to bring her back, but he can't lift her no matter how hard he tries. He collapses. He lies there panting, then apologizes, saying he needs to devour her to regain the strength to bring her back. In the next moment, he growls in fury and starts flying around the area. Some time later, in the dragon's lair, that dragon gets there and lands. He looks around the place, his mother's head in his hands. Then another creature swoops through the air and drops on top of him, pinning him to the ground. His mother's head rolls away across the floor. That dragon reports to the Dragon King that they caught the weirdo. A huge red dragon watches and says, "That's Philbass's head." He steps up to the smaller dragon and asks who he is. He says it's his mother's head, that he found this place through inherited memories, and begs them to save her. The red dragon says there's no mistake, this was that woman's doing, and it's a shame Philbass inherited the Dragon King's power crystal. The Dragon King leans in for a closer look. Then he straightens and says he really is her son, but he's not a pure dragon, and asks who his father is. He says he doesn't know, but his mother told him his father was a goblin. Everyone around him is horrified. One dragon attacks, shouting that he's descended from a goblin. that it's a disgrace to the dragon race, and asks the king to leave him to him. The huge red dragon watches for a moment, then tells him to wait. He says that creature is the grandchild of the old dragon king who's dead, and the whole dragon race has been reduced to this crystal dragon bloodline, so he has to be tested. The huge dragon says if he wants to save his mother, he has to survive and defeat the dragon at his side. That creature perks up, thanking him for giving him a little fun, then lunges and opens its massive mouth at the young dragon. In a flash, the young dragon dives straight into the other one's mouth. The dragons nearby freeze in surprise. It only makes his opponent angrier. He jerks upward and unleashes a blast of fire, screaming for help, saying that thing is biting his belly. Another dragon snaps that it's the king's decision. He has to win on his own, and they can't help. The next moment, the young dragon bursts out from inside the creature. He flies, thinking he survived, that he won, and that now he'll be able to save his mother. He lands. The Dragon King declares that from now on, he's a member of the dragon's nest, and his name will be Needhog. The young man asks if they're going to bring his mother back now. The king orders them to take Philbus's head to the world tree. He says the head will be grafted into the tree's roots to create a wooden dragon, and that this is the only way to resurrect his mother. At the terminal, he says that even with all the losses, he still scored a huge victory. Lin thinks he's already made preparations to deal with the adventurers. The terminal asks if he wants to run a simulation, and our hero confirms by pressing the button. Everyone cheers, celebrating their boss's success. Our hero realizes that pile of bodies is enough to turn the surviving goblins into stronger heroic species. After devouring most of the bodies, the goblins reach level 50 and complete their evolution. One becomes a glutton goblin, another becomes a giant hammer goblin with power between 900 and 1000. The others become dark goblins with power equivalent to 1200. Lin thinks that's why they're hated. Goblins need to devour to level up, unlike humans, who only need to defeat enemies to level up, and it doesn't matter if the other side is from another race or group. Someone walks up and says he didn't expect him to be so resourceful. The vampire says it's been a long time since she fed on humans. She adds that as a reward she sent someone to find out where the saint is, and our hero asks her to tell him. She says that after she learned several adventurers died, she left the city on horseback, planning to call in the legendary adventurer party. She warns him to be careful, because she used to be a member of the Holy Sword. Our hero asks if she's outside the city, and says that's perfect, because he can finally get some fresh air. The vampire is surprised he doesn't seem scared, and that he even smiled. Suddenly a goblin comes running, calling for his boss, saying something bad happened. Not far away, a group of goblins from another tribe is coming to their cave, and our hero is shocked. He says there isn't a goblin tribe within hundreds of miles, and wonders if they could be the previous owners of this cave. Nearby, some goblins climb up the walls. Our hero watches from above with a few powerful allies. Down below, goblins gather behind a massive goblin leader. The huge creature barks at them to move fast and stop wasting time. A level 50 beast goblin, power around 800. Our hero wonders what kind of tribe this is. The leader's strong, but a rare hero like that should only be leading a squad. He orders them captured alive. They might be a special task force from a much larger tribe. His subordinate nods. Leave it to him. The goblins start crossing the water. Someone in the group asks what that smell is. The goblins insist they don't smell anything. He says maybe some food slipped into the cave, so they should get ready for a big meal. Then something moves. Fast. It lunges at the goblin leader. The big guy roars that there are enemies and tells everyone to get ready to fight. The goblins shout that they'll protect the boss. Another goblin bursts through the waterfall. The goblins scream, "A mutant! Run!" The leader of the attackers goes furious, and in the next moment he's watching his group get crushed. A small creature bolts, yelling that its nest was taken and it has to report to the Lord. A crossbow bolt snaps through the air. In the next moment, the whole group of attackers is subdued. Their leader curses under his breath. Wasn't this supposed to be a bunch of low-level goblins? He spits that they're useless cowards. Then he drops, defeated on poisoned ground. Our hero looks down at him, merciless. Some time later, the leader is chained to the wall, screaming to be let out and to get out of his way. He snarls, asking how a low-level thing like him dares question him, swearing he'll devour him. Our hero says he needs a social beatdown. The creature scoffs. So it's going to get beaten by him? It says he's a male like a wild animal, so why would he be afraid? 10 minutes later, work tools are scattered across the floor. The creature screams that it was wrong. It'll answer, it can't take it anymore. Our hero asks what tribe it's from, where the tribe is located, and why it's here. The creature says it's from the Beast King tribe in the Demon Forest. This used to be its boss's residence, and it was ordered to come back and retrieve something. Our hero asks what class their tribe leader is. It says a goblin lord, and soon it'll evolve into a dominator. Ling goes pale. The creature adds they're here to get something important for their lord. If he doesn't believe it, he can go look for himself. Our hero asks if it's treasure, a magic ring, made by a ghoul clan leader. It can seal an opponent's soul depending on their strength. Our hero didn't expect something like that to be lying around here. The creature says it already told him everything, and he already has a ring, so set it free. Our hero says of course, and grabs its hand. The monster panics, asking what he's going to do. Lin says he'll let its body go, but its soul will stay. Then he activates the magic ring, ripping the creature's soul out. The monster screams in despair. Our hero starts absorbing the soul. His strength jumps by 200. He thinks it's not much, but maybe swapping it for a stronger soul would change things. The beast tribe's total strength feels comparable to the human cities, and he can use them to deal with the humans. While he's working that out, the goblin hunter asks about that creature from the Beast King tribe. Our hero's surprised she knows the name, but she says it's normal. In a dark tone, she warns he can't afford to offend them. She explains the tribe is under the Great Tomb's jurisdiction, and even the Lionheart Empire isn't qualified to face them. Lion gets curious about this Great Tomb. The woman asks if he killed that thing. Then she explains the Great Tomb rules thousands of miles of the demon forest, and there's at least 1/12 world-class monster there. Our hero is curious and a little confused, but then he thinks he gets it. She then asks what he tells her what he wants to do, and asks for help controlling that thing with his power. Lion wants it to go back to the Beast King and report the ring was stolen. But he wants to twist the message, make it sound like it wasn't them who stole it, but the royal aristocracy of the Lionheart's empire. The woman is pretty shocked by the idea. Our hero adds that he planned it so he'd have the advantage of an ambush, and says to use the loader as a hostage to get more experience. Pleased with himself, he thinks while the fish fight. The fisherman benefits. Sometime later in the Lionheart capital, the noble humiliates him, saying their family's reputation was damaged by his actions, while he tries to explain himself to his father. He argues those goblins aren't just strong, they're smart too. He tells his father the Grey Hat squad was wiped out, and that his cousin is also alive, Pheromone. Furious, the old man demands to know how the family's eldest son could have been beaten by mere goblins, and says everyone is laughing about it. The young men throw themselves on the floor, begging forgiveness. Desperate, he blurts out that goblin is terrifying, but the old man tells him to get out of his sight, calling him pathetic. Then someone calls out to the count, telling him not to worry. The man says he's there to help clean up their family's reputation. Still irritated, the count asks what he wants, and reminds him the king ordered the soldiers to stay on standby, so they can't just mobilize them. He adds that the king already spoke with the sacred sword, asking what they themselves could do. The man says the count is thinking too small. If the sacred sword solves the problem, the king will think their family is useless. Does he want to be seen like that? Pheromone worries about that. The plan is to have his son report what happened to his majesty, and if each of them mobilizes at least 1,000 soldiers, the goblins will be defeated. The people around them tense up. Finally, that guy looks satisfied. He agrees and says that piece of trash is coming with him. Sometime later, back at the goblin's den, the creatures look a little scared, as the desperate prisoner asks if he hit it. Our hero looks like he managed to hit the apple on his head. Lin is impressed the pistol works so well and that it wasn't a waste, while his elf companion is dying to use it. She begs him to teach her, and he finally gives in and says yes. Then someone calls for the boss, saying a huge troop of humans is leaving the city, fully armed. Another goblin says he found a huge number of goblins coming in, and it looks like the Beast King tribe. Excited, Lin thinks everything is going just like he planned. That creature reports to his boss that a human army took the ring and that he almost managed to get it back, but his boss calls him useless trash. The creature roars full of hate. The boss orders them to gather up and defeat the humans because he wants that ring back. On the other side, human flags rise and soldiers get ready for the fight. People in the city welcome the counts. Stammen asks where the holy sword is. The guy who had it says she had to take care of some things and asks why 2 counts are there. The count says since she's not around, he won't waste time with someone like him. The man snaps back that he's a brave dragon slayer who fought by her side. Smiling, the count shifts his tone and says they're there to kill the goblins. Then someone yells that something's wrong. From the shadows, the goblins come rushing out, ready to attack, and the soldiers wonder how they got past the walls. Cursing the goblins, the count orders the knights to attack and kill every last one of them. From atop his horse, he fights bravely. The knights seem to have the upper hand this time, and even that guy who is kind of useless is doing well. But in the next moment, it looks like our hero enters the scene, and he's enjoying it. The count wonders how these weak goblins could be a threat. He figures at this rate, the battle won't last more than an hour. Then a horse gets thrown far away. Our hero freezes when he sees the huge monster. The scene turns terrifying. That thing is the Beast King Goblin, level 79 with 3,000 power. Our hero is shocked by how strong and how disgusting it is. The count panics and orders everyone to fall back. He wonders what that thing even is. Then reinforcements arrive. Lorna, the count's cousin, says they'll handle the big one so the soldiers can deal with the rest. The count tells her to be careful not to end up a loser like her brother. She charges the huge monster, and the group moves in with her. But the creature doesn't seem to feel a thing. It starts chasing everyone, just like the plan. Our hero thinks that's bad. If it goes that way, they might run straight into his tribe. He can only watch helpless. It's a shame, but that girl is in more danger than she can imagine. Not far from the city, the creature starts getting the upper hand. The annoyed group says its teeth will be the first trophy they take. Another guy tells them not to give up. They just need to make an opening for Lorna to land the killing blow. Facing the creature, the girl tells herself she has to win. She's the Academy's top example. Determined, she uses a martial arts technique against the monster. It strikes back with a powerful attack of its own. Our hero is surprised. The group has way less power than the monster, yet they're managing to keep it busy. The goblin is furious and demands how she dares attack it. Then the monster shifts tactics and uses a power. Our hero gets scared as it finishes the attack and unleashes the Beast King's roar. A man is flying over the battle with a dragon when they get hit by something. It's a sound wave, far fiercer than he expected. Xiao Huan gets stressed by the roar and his rider tells him to calm down. Someone drops to their knees. They collapse unconscious beside another man who's already been defeated. Beside her companions, Lorna wonders why this is happening, how a goblin that powerful could exist. Despair hits her. She says she can't handle it. She thinks of her father and teacher as she looks at the miserable state she's in. Now the gigantic beast stares at her, fury in its eyes. Terrified, the woman pees her pants and prays, "Help me." Right after that, a scream cuts through the whole forest. A group hears it and recognizes Lorna's voice. They believe something happened. A soldier tells his highness to calm down. Now they're the commanders, and nothing can go wrong. A figure with a red aura approaches. Someone asks what it is. It's the king of beasts. He's not alone. The young woman is with him, and she seems to have died. One of the men spots the girl. Furious, he demands the goblin give his daughter back. Another soldier tells the leader to return. They're about to win the battle. The goblin king watches, like he's waiting for something. That ruler leaps, closing in to strike with his sword. The other one grins and readies a punch. When the blow hits the ground, the man drops. The next moment, he's face first in the dirt. More blows land on that giant mass. Soldiers move in with shields raised, jabbing with spears. "Quick, Lord Hero, land your finishing blow," a warrior shouts. He focuses, doing his best, and forms a fireball. It spins fast in his hands,